This is a tech review, and this is the Anker SOLIX C1000. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, I have reviewed this product before. And when I did, I got so many questions from people asking, will it power a kettle? Can I use it with an air fryer? Things like that. So I figured I'd make this video and I'm gonna test it against every appliance that I would probably use in the van. And we're just gonna see how much power each one of those products actually draws from the power station so that you can make the decision whether it is actually worth getting for your camper van. And whilst people say that, you know, these things are really good for sort of charging up your phone and things like that, it can actually do so much more, and that's why I'm going to put it to the test today so that you can make up your mind before getting one. I'm just going to test it out by charging a few things. This is a couple of batteries from my drone. We're going to plug that into the USB-C. I'm going to charge my laptop. It's charging, good. Drill batteries. We all know what it's like when you're working somewhere without electric and you need some energy for your drill. Also going to charge my smartphone. Here we go. 2 spare batteries for the camera that I'm shooting on now. There we go. So out of the full 9 sockets, I'm only using 5 of them, and the power that's actually being taken from charging all of this is only 124 watts, which means I could do this for a total of 7 hours, which is more than enough to charge any of these. Now, we all know how important it is to have a certain amount of power in your camper van. And before we start testing this to see everything that it can power, I'm just going to run through with you everything you need to know about it. Now, this is the Anker SOLIX C1000, and out of the 9 different ports that you've got to charge from, it's got a combined output of 1800 watts. Now, for a lot of you that might not necessarily mean a lot, but if we put it into comparison, in order for you to have this sort of power out of your van, you would need a pretty strong inverter. But 1800 watts is more than enough power for most of the appliances that I use currently in this van. This power station does have a capacity of 1056 watt hours as well, and as I said, to a lot of people that doesn't really mean a lot, so I think we just need to just jump in and start testing it. I think we're going to start off with the slow cooker. So now this is one of these sort of little 1 to 2 person slow cookers. It's the perfect size for the van. So plug that in, turn this on, let's put it on high because, you know, if I'm going to be cooking a lamb stew in this van, then I'm going to need to put it on high, I reckon. So based on just this one appliance, we're drawing 91 watts. So I think it's safe to say slow cooker is a win. Next appliance. George Foreman. Now, I have actually used this with this power station before, so I know that it 100% works, but I just want to see how much power it actually does pull. So straight away, start up. It's drawing quite a bit of power from this. As you can hear, the fan's kicked in, and that's because to get this up to temperature, it's actually taking 1472 watts. And from my experience of using this power station with the George Foreman, is that once the George Foreman gets up to the temperature that it needs to, that drops right down and actually get a lot more time out of the power station. I need to clean the George Foreman. The next thing we're going to use is the air fryer. Now, I'm guessing, I've not tried this yet, but this is going to draw quite a bit of power. On. Okay, right, we're working. Right, I'm just going to turn it on, I don't know, like 200. So this, as expected, is actually drawing 1840 watts. Now, you would think that the fact that this is drawing more than 1800 watts would be more than what the capacity would be for the C1000, but because of surge pad, it can actually give you an output of 2400 watts. So it works with the air fryer. Now this is where it gets difficult. This is a regular household kettle. Even though in the manual it says there's only about 1800 watts to power this kettle, when a kettle's sort of charging up, it can actually go up to 3000 watts of power which it draws in. So I don't think it's going to work with this, but I do have a backup. If it does struggle, which I think it will, I've got a travel kettle as well, which draws a lot less power and is actually a better size for the van anyway. So if this doesn't work, we'll try it with this. Okay, moment of truth. Oh. See, now that's interesting. So what that tells us is that the kettle, when clicked on, tried to draw 2600 watts from the power station. And one of the great things about the Anker SOLIX C1000 is it does have an overload protection in it. So as soon as I tried to draw too much power from the power station, it literally cut off the kettle from the flow, and the little flashing red light came up on the display saying overload. I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen, but it's good to know that household kettles, it doesn't like it. Plug that boy in like that. I'm just gonna use the same water. Right. Okay, and let's see how this one performs. Are we ready? Right, the blue light's on. It's drawing 644 watts, and it means that you could continually boil this kettle for 1.3 hours. So I'd probably say that's a win for that one. Now another thing I want to just try out, just say that you want to make yourself a cup of tea, but you've also got your lamb stew in your slow cooker at the same time. I'm just going to plug in as much as I can into this at the same time, just to see what combination of products it will actually run simultaneously. Kettle on, slow cooker on high. That is drawing 736 watts, so those two work fine, that's good. Let's try the George Foreman. This might be where I might be just pushing it a little bit too far. Just balance that there. Oh my god! Slow cooker, kettle, George Foreman, on. That's on. That's on. That's on. 2208 watts. Okay. Really pushing it now. Pushing it to its limits. Right, so you're in your van. You want to make yourself a cup of tea. You've got your lamb stew in your slow cooker, but you also want to cook some chips in the air fryer to dip into your lamb stew. Let's see if it can manage it. Right, are we ready? No, it overloaded. I mean, that was pretty obvious that was going to happen anyway, because the air fryer alone took quite a lot of power. So that's a no-go, but you know, a combination of stuff. Let's try it without the kettle. Let's just say I've already made myself a coffee, and now we're just going to have lamb stew and chips with it. Okay, it can handle that quite nicely. So obviously the kettle draws quite a bit, and obviously the air fryer draws quite a bit. So all in all, those two products together is 1932 watts of power getting drawn. But looking at it, if you got these two both on at the same time, it was saying it would only run for 0.4 hours. You'd probably start your slow cooker a couple of hours before and then just plug this in at the last minute, and then you could probably even just turn this down to warm or even unplug it. But it's good to know that you can run multiple things off this at the same time if you do want to. Now another thing worth noting is that when I built this camper van, the area in which I was building it didn't have any form of electrics, so I had to spend a lot of money on cordless drills, jigsaws, lots of different types of saw, just so that I could build this van without having to have the need to have electric in the yard where I was building it. And the thing that costs the money with these drills and things are the batteries, and if you can bypass that, you can actually pick up quite a few tools pretty cheap. Like this, this is one of my old jigsaws, but because it's corded, I felt like I couldn't use it because of the power issue. But with one of these, there is no power issue, because you can just plug it in. It saves you having to invest in really expensive drills with lithium batteries. It also, this is every camper van builder's best friend, a hot air gun. This is perfect for when you're doing your wiring and stuff, but works fine. 1900 watts that draws. And let's not forget about how to charge this. It charges the same way they all do. You can plug it into your vehicle when you're driving, into your 12-volt socket, and charge it while you're driving along. You can hook it up to your solar panel, or, and this is where this one really does stand out, when you're charging the C1000 from an AC socket at home. Thanks to HyperFlash technology, the portable power station can be recharged to 100% in 58 minutes, which is 27.5% faster than power stations with the same capacity. Anker SOLIX C1000 is the fastest charging 1 kilowatt hour portable power station, which benefits from hyperflash and ultra fast charging mode, making fast charging safe for devices. It can also recharge to 100% in just 1.8 hours with 600 watts of solar input, 40% faster than power stations with the same capacity. So if you have been scratching your head for a little while wondering which power station to get, I would highly recommend the C1000. It's not the most expensive one that Anker SOLIX actually make, but for my needs, it does just fine. Now normally this power station is on sale for £999, but if you act now, for the Valentine's Day sale, you actually get £200 off. So which means it could be yours for £799. But thank you so much for watching this tech review on the C1000, and I'll see you on Sunday for another stealth camp. Cheers!